Hi, this is Skip Orth with Father and Son Pest and Lawn Solutions, and today we're going to talk about top dressing. Now, what is top dressing? Top dressing is when you take plain sand and just spread a thin layer of sand over the top of the lawn, and what that does is that invigorates and encourages growth in the lawn. Now, over here is an example of an area that we would want to top dress. As you can see, this is centipede grass, and this centipede has gone through some issues and has some areas, that have a lot of thatch in it. And what we want to do is we want to top dress this whole area here in order to, number one, what it's going to do is it's going to help decompose the thatch, and also it's going to encourage the green grass to grow and spread more quickly. So what we're going to do, we're going to dump some sand on here, and I'm going to show you how to top dress this area. Okay? So here we go. I've got my wheelbarrow full of sand, and I'm just going to dump it close to the area that I'm going to top dress. Like that. Now, if I were doing the whole yard, what I would do is I would distribute piles about this size, about 5 or 6 feet apart all the way around the yard, and then go back and spread them. But for demonstration purposes, we're just doing this one pile in this one area today. So I've got a hard rake that we're going to use, and we're going to pull the sand across the area that we want to top dress and get it to where it's just about like this right here, where the green grass is still sticking up, but the thatch, all the dead stuff, is covered. So we're just going to pull it, and if we cover some of the healthy grass, that's okay. It'll grow up through that area like that. Now, one of the questions I get asked a lot of times about top dressing is it best to use sand or should I use topsoil? Because in our area of the Emerald Coast, the soil is just very has very little nutrition in it. So some people want to know, well, would it be better for me to use topsoil and add some of that good humus and clay and stuff like that on top of the grass rather than just plain sand? And the answer to that is sand is actually better. The University of Florida has done studies that show that if you use topsoil on top of a sandy soil that's there already, all of the good stuff in the topsoil, the humus, the nutrients, the clay, all of that just filters down through the sand within a matter of months. So you don't gain any long-term benefit from using topsoil rather than just plain sand. The other problem with using topsoil, if you get it delivered in bulk, like with a dump truck load of top sand or topsoil, you risk introducing a lot of weed seeds into your lawn. We actually had a customer years ago that top dressed his lawn with topsoil, and for the following year we were fighting weeds the whole year. It was a nice lawn, but he introduced so many weeds into his lawn with that topsoil that it's not a good idea. So if you're doing a small area, you can go to Lowe's or a home improvement center and get bags of play sand. Play sand will work fine. Or if you want to do your whole lawn, you can order dump truck loads of fill sand, which you can distribute in piles like I've done and spread out over the lawn like this. Now, after this is spread, what you want to do is you want to water it really well, because spreading sand on top of the grass will pull the moisture out of the grass. So it'll start to get drought stressed a little bit by having the sand just laying on there. So you want to put some water in that helps wash the sand down into that thatch that we looked at earlier. Also helps encourage the growth of the grass to grow up through and start producing runners that'll run on top of the sand. And also after the top dressing, you want to apply maybe a light application of fertilizer just to encourage that growth. Now, how long does it take for this area to grow up through this and cover? During the growing season, this area should be pretty well covered within about 6 to 8 weeks. The sand will encourage that green grass that's there to grow and start producing more runners that run on top of the sand. Within 6 to 8 weeks, this area should look nice and green. So that's how you top dress a lawn. That's how you, those are the reasons why. And it's a lot of work. It's very hard. Oh, one other thing is that the time of year is really important. The time of year that you do this is really important because you don't want to do it when the grass is not actively growing. So you want to do it, say, between late May and the end of August. If you cover up the grass during a time when it's dormant or it's growing slowly, then the grass will just sit there and the top dressing could smother the grass. So you want it to be growing quickly. Rule of thumb is if you're having to mow the grass once a week, that would be a good time to top dress. Okay, well, thank you for listening and have fun top dressing.